Okay, good evening everyone. My name is William Riascos. I am taking my seventh semester of Bachelor of Arts in English as Foreign Language. In this activity, grammar lesson, I am going to talk about there is and there are. This activity is designed for grade 7, ages between 12 and 13. Objectives: learn to master the use of there is and there are in all three forms, affirmative, negative, and interrogative, to improve their performance in learning English. Materials: picture or flashcards, in general, classroom supplies. All of these things, I am going to use them to support my explanation. Presentation. Today we are going to talk about there is and there are. Both mean in Spanish, I express something that exists in a certain place. But we use there is when we are talking about just one thing. In other words, when we are talking in singular, and we use there are when we refer to something in plural. For example, there is. With there is, we can use a and am. It depends on other noun. Example, affirmative way. There is a pen on the table. As we see, there is just one pen on the table. Second example, there is an apple on the basket. In this case, I use the word am because the noun apple begins with a vowel. In the negative way, we say, there is not a pen on the table because in the table there is nothing. In the interrogative way, we make a little change. We put the auxiliary is at the beginning of the sentence, then the word there. So we can say, is there a pen on the table? In this case, there are two possible answers. It depends on the situation. Yes, there is, or no, there is not, or the contraction, no, there isn't. Now, we are going to talk about there are. Affirmative way. There are two pens on the table. In this case, we see two pens on the table. In the negative way, we say, there are not two pens on the table. Why? Because on the table there is just one pen. Interrogative way, we say, are there two pens on the table? In this case, as we see in the picture, are two pens. So the answer is yes, there are. Also, we keep in mind that we can use some in any for countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns. Example, there are some pens on the table. In the positive way. In the negative way, we say, there aren't any pens on the table. In this case, we use any because the sentence is negative. In the interrogative way, we say, are there any pens on the table? In this case, as we see on the picture, we answer, yes, there are. Uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are things that we cannot count individually. For example, in the positive way, there is some water in the bottle. Second example, in the negative way, there isn't any water in the bottle because the bottle is empty. In the interrogative way, we say, is there any water in the bottle? In this case, the answer is no, there isn't. Practice. In this case, we make an activity, individual activities. The, the idea is that students, according to the information that they have on the topic, they can identify error and complete sentences. Example, complete the gaps per sentence. There's a space, some apple in the basket. Second sentence, there is a space, book on the desk. Third sentence, there is space, a car in the garage. Correct the errors. Fourth sentence, there is some book on the table. Fifth sentence, is there some sugar in the glass? Sixth sentence, there are a boy on the street. Now, students are going to answer the following question according to the picture. Is there any water in the bottle? Revision. In this stage, students are able to master the topic without help by the teacher. Students are able to write, there aren't any water. There is a book on the table. There are some apples in the basket. There isn't any sugar in the glass. There are 5 children in the garden. And the last one is there any bread in the kitchen? And so forth. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.